you see a game like this and an atmosphere like this, does this give you kind of a glimpse of what the program can be?
Oh, absolutely. Feeling the energy, loud, excited arena. It actually reminded me of our first Angel City FC match. And for about a year leading up to that, people kept telling me that we would never be able to sell out an arena for women's soccer, let alone 22,000 people. And look, that was a brand new team we were creating. UVA women's basketball has such an amazing legacy, and it's just awesome to be able to honor that and see a bunch of who's get really excited for these ladies. So the sky's the limit, and the reason I know that is because this legacy of greatness is already here. We already got the banners to prove it, and we're just bringing some of the hype back.
How important was it for you to do this with the UVA program? Obviously, you connected to the program. How important was it for you to do this?
Oh, well, look, I read it. Obviously, the stock had a very good year. And at the end of the day, there's no Reddit without UVA. I mean, this is where I started. I named Reddit in Alderman Library. And, I've spent the last 5 years since stepping away really focusing on where I wanted to invest my time and money, and women's sports has become a huge priority. So you put two and two together, what better place to put some dollars to work than at UVA and specifically around women's basketball. And I don't know, there's a great team here. We got homegrown talent like Mo, and a wonderful cast around her. And I just, Coach Mox has done a heck of a job already, and the sky's the limit for this team.
When did that process start in terms of just getting that gift together, kind of, that process started?
It's funny, a few things happened together. I saw the announcement about Coach Bennett, and I felt like I was caught off guard by it. I don't know about the rest of y'all. And I felt this vacuum of UVA basketball fandom be like, wait a sec, hold on, Coach Bennett's stepping away. And I think I've made a career out of noticing these moments and these shifts in the zeitgeist, probably because I've lived online for better or for worse for the last 20 years. And literally that same week, a friend had invited me to come see the home opener here. And I was like, gosh, you know what? I would like to come see the home opener. I would like to get up to speed with the women's program because it felt like almost cosmically, this one amazing legacy. I was in Minneapolis for that championship. All right, I don't remember a lot of it. I was celebrating quite a bit. But with this one sort of door closing with Coach Bennett and the great work he did with the men's program, I felt this door opening for the women's program here. And like I said, there's already a legacy of greatness for UVA women's basketball, and the universe put me here, sitting courtside to see that opener, took care of business that day. And, within another week or two, I was talking to Coach Mox, Carla, athletic director, and we put something together. And I basically said, listen, what would it take to make this team, be able to bring home a championship in the next few years, right? I'd love to know. And she laid it out, and I said, all right, let's do this. And so just very proud, like I said, to be able to do this. And it gives me so much joy to see the joy that sports brings to a community. And I know personally, when I was here at UVA, this was a long time ago, 2001, 2005, I did not see a women's basketball game here, right? That was on me. That was my loss. And now that I've already gotten experience a few here, I'm addicted. So excited and a little jealous of a whole generation of Wahoos that are going to be able to enjoy this team for many years to come.
You've had a couple chances to meet with the team and talk to them. How have those interactions gone? What do you like about them?
Well, so the first time I met them was great because, like I said, we took care of business here that opener. And we stayed in touch outside of that. And look, obviously this is a team that has huge ambitions. We want to win every single game. Obviously we want to beat Duke, especially. But, this is a resilient team. And look, I peaked as an athlete in high school with varsity football. I've been in some locker rooms though. And obviously vis-a-vis my wife, I've seen what it's like after, winning a Grand Slam and what it's like after losing and sort of everything in between. And the thing that I always take with me and what I told these ladies after the match today was like, this feeling is obviously, it's a bad feeling to, lose. But this is where the growth comes from, and it's okay that it feels bad. It probably should, because that means you're a competitor and you want to win. But I have so much faith in this program, in Coach Mox, and these athletes. I'm so proud of them, and that's all you can ask for. So this is a resilient team. I'm not worried. And when we're hanging a banner in the next few years, all y'all who are here will get to say, yeah, we were right, we believed, and just very, very proud of them.
When will your wife join you at a game?
I was texting her. Well, it's Serena and Olympia, actually. Adira's still a little too young. She's only like 16 months, but we were texting. Both of them have very busy schedules. Shockingly, my 7-year-old has a way busier schedule than I did at that age, but absolutely happening. Hopefully this year. I've got every home game on the calendar. Florida's obviously home base for us. I was just saying, though, I do a lot of work in New York, and this is a very nice, wonderful respite in between the two. So you will know because I'll probably tweet it out, or maybe I'll just surprise y'all. Actually, the program would probably want me to tweet in advance that they're going to be there, but it'll happen.
How much does she support your quest at your alma mater?
It's funny. Serena took a very different approach. She didn't go to college. Sort of traditionally, went right to being a professional as like a teenager. So it's been funny. I've been indoctrinating her into the ways of being a UVA alum, being a Wahoo. I've already gently started nudging Olympia in the direction of Charlottesville, Virginia, should she choose to go to, the best university in the country. But I think she's been quite supportive. And at the end of the day, I think what's so compelling, I'm obviously very aware of the legacy that Serena has laid out. And it's one that inspires athletes, not just from tennis, but all kinds of sports, and obviously not just women, but especially women. And it's been awesome to hear, too, from so many of the players on this team, just how motivated they've been or inspired they've been by Serena. And it's wild to see that generational effect and that ripple. And Serena's someone who doesn't really spend any time thinking about that sort of thing. So I think it's part of my job as a husband, and then also as a father to our 2 girls, to make sure that they hear this stuff and they see this stuff and they know this stuff. But she's been very supportive of my my addiction to the alma mater here.
Is it your hope that others will follow in your footsteps and kind of donate to
Yeah, please. I mean, look, I'm so grateful. One of my mentors is the legendary Paul Tutor Jones, who obviously brought this all to fruition. And he's someone who I've come to learn a lot from and respect from, both as a businessman, but also philanthropically. And so I feel like I'm really carrying a very small torch compared to his. Hopefully it's going to keep getting bigger as my career keeps developing and growing. But I would love to see it inspire others. Just as Paul has inspired me, I would love to see this contribution inspire others. And specifically around women's sports here at the university, we have some amazing programs. I was just in Paris. So I saw the fruits of that at the Olympics in terms of swimming. But please, let it galvanize other, fortunate UVA alums to give back, and specifically to the women's programs. Obviously, the men's programs are great too. We can support those as well. But I do love the fact that, look, this is a university that candidly took a little while to bring women in. So to see the investment focused specifically on women's sports is pretty awesome. And it feels like we're doing some really great work here to amplify just some amazing student athletes.
You talked about how important it was to give back to UVA, but you're still seeing a lot of women's sports. Was it something that you felt like you needed to do? Obviously, you said you have 2 daughters, you see what your wife's gone through. Is that something you wanted to contribute? You're like, maybe I should do something more focused on women's sports.
It's funny. So I very publicly resigned from Reddit back in 2020, and I just said, you know what, I made it to a point in my career where I can do exactly what I want to do. And I want my at that point, 1 little girl, but now 2 kids to see me not just doing my best work, but doing it in a way that aligned with my values. But first and foremost, whether it's been starting Angel City, whether it's been this show, The Off Season, whether it's been this track event, Athlos, that we put on, those are all for-profit endeavors that I've started, that I've invested in, because I actually believe women's sports is just a great investment, period. This one, I talked to Jim. There's no way for me, obviously, the university, I can't invest literally in the university, at least not yet. If there's a way, let me know. But for the program here, even though it is technically a donation, I see it as an investment, and I see it as something that is going to generate tremendous outsized returns. Maybe not financial ones for me, but when I think about women's sports, I think a lot of well-intentioned people for many decades treated it like charity and ironically held it back. And so I always lead first and foremost with the fact that I think it's an amazing opportunity because it's amazing entertainment, it's an amazing business opportunity. And yes, proud girl dad, yes, married to the GOAT, but the thing that drives my motivation here is just celebrating, rewarding, and investing in excellence. That's it. And so the capitalist in me is like, no, women's sports is just great, period, and worthy of investment. I don't think of it as charity. And it's just great to see the ripple effect that mindset's had now. And tell you what, 5 years ago, I was rage tweeting about how undervalued women's professional sports was, and that led me to Angel City. Shout out to Alex Morgan, who had actually really prompted that in my replies on Twitter. And if you look at the wave of investment, not just for me, but for so many people now in the last 5 years, it's so fulfilling to see that progress. And to that earlier question, I hope it galvanizes other who's to say, hey, let's give back and let's focus it on women athletes. And like I said, it's very entertaining. And I wish these refs here had made a couple more calls. All right. But one of the things I do love, and that please don't sleep on this if you're a fan of men's basketball and you've never watched the women's game, women's basketball is way more like basketball was when I was a kid in the 90s. I'm 41 now, and I see these guys preening about, flopping, all this nonsense in the NBA. Women's basketball is so much tougher, so much more physical, and it's just frankly a more enjoyable thing to watch. And again, I wish the ref had made some more calls today because it was getting a little sloppy out there in the second half, but still, this is the kind of energy and again, the entertainment value you can expect from the women's game is you're not gonna get the BS flops. You're gonna get ballers who go so hard. And again, if you love sports, you'd rather watch a bunch of amazing athletes ball out than a bunch of athletes falling on the ground trying to get fouls. That's just me. So that's the advice I give to fans of male basketball.